begins to speak. OK, let's talk about this major new gas exporting facility set to be built in Canada. Yeah, the government there backed the $31 billion project. It'll allow huge amounts of liquefied natural gas to be sent to Asia, where it's expected to replace demand for coal. Now, the first shipments of the super chilled fuel are expected to be around 2025. The world's biggest LNG trader, it's Royal Dutch Shell, is among the foreign companies investing in the facility. Cornelia Meyer. Yeah, Cornelia's in the house, yeah. Chief Executive of MRL Corporation, a business consultancy. Cornelia, always a pleasure to see you. How big is this for Canada?
It's huge for Canada because Canada hasn't really done LNG before, and it's a huge facility. You know, it will, but at 2024, it will produce about 6.5 million tons per annum of LNG, and it can ramp up to 26 million tons per annum. So this is huge.
And it's all heading one direction.
It's all heading. The two biggest consumers so far have been Korea and Japan, but China is really ramping up because they're getting rid of a lot of the coal-fired power plants because they need to take, you know, air quality is becoming an issue with pulmonary disease being the biggest killer and having a new national health service. So they're really ramping up gas-fired power generation, and this will feed it. And when you look at it, who are Shell's partners? Petronas from Malaysia, which makes sense because they have a lot of experience in LNG. It's PetroChina, it's KOGAS, Korean Gas, and it's Mitsubishi Corporation.
You mentioned China and cleaning up its air and, you know, its environmental policies in there. Because this is what? LNG is the cleanest fossil fuel that we have.
Yeah.
Is LNG the next big thing?
Well, LNG is one of the big things. If you look at I mean, obviously renewables are another big thing. But when you look at it, Shell thinks that by 2035 we will have doubled the demand for LNG from where we are now. So yes, it is a big thing.
Right, and again, that's probably coming again once China gets the infrastructure.
China and India, because India also needs to clean up its act. But you know, the demand for fossil fuels or the demand for energy really comes mainly from Asia, the incremental demand.
And you need specific infrastructure, don't you, for
Absolutely. LNG, what you do with LNG, you liquefy it. You know, you have the gas, you liquefy it, you put it in these humpback ships, and then you ship it, you go for a sail, as they say in Shell, and then you go to regasification facilities, which you have a lot of in Japan, a lot of the utilities mainly have those in Korea, and which they're now building at breakneck speed in China.
Yeah, you're talking to an Aussie. We know about LNG, Cornelia.
Yeah,
we know about LNG.
Yeah.
But just, I've got to wrap it up. But because we talk about infrastructure and this big project, we're going to see a lot of these sort of super projects, right, around the world?
Yes, we're going to see. And what really helps is that the oil price has come up again. You know, a lot of these things were shelved. They were in the pipeline, but they were shelved because the oil price was too low. And LNG is still indexed to oil. At some stage, it may divorce itself, the pricing structure from oil, but at this point, it's still indexed.
OK, Cornelia, always a pleasure. Thanks very much. We'll talk to you soon. Cornelia.